Shitcase Cinema. On the Shitcase Cinema. Oh, it's the Shitcase Cinema. Come on!
Death Warrant. Sounds great. So, Van Damme is out on the streets. What's he doing then?
He killed my partner. I'm not waiting.
Oh, I love his accent. So, his partner was killed. So, therefore, I guess he's a cop? Or, oh look, a street gang.
I'm busy. Scram. I'm gonna teach you a lesson in manners.
What, by having your ass handed to you? Tool. And the entire film is pretty much like this, so let this be the benchmark. So the Muscles from Brussels enters a building, shits himself when he sees a doll looking at him. I guess it is kind of creepy, but holy shit, where did he come from?
Time to go to sleep.
Ha! Sounds like that Sandman goon from that epic movie that I reviewed called Sleep Stalker.
I'm the Sandman.
Oh, for fuck's sake, what is this? I almost shriveled up and died when I heard him say that line when I decided to review this movie. Sandman. Christ. So he's shot 5 times, but, you know, he's bound to come back later. Which he does, but are you seriously, honestly surprised? So Van Damme is a big shot, popular cop. Kind of reminds me of Stallone in Tango and Cash. Now he's told by his superiors that he's going to go undercover into a prison, and this lady here is going to help him by posing as his wife.
I graduated top in my class at Stanford, and if you're uncomfortable with the fact that I'm a woman, then that's your problem, not mine.
Oh god, she's nagging at him already. She's definitely wife material. Silly mare. Just roundhouse kick her, Van Damme. Naturally, a film like this has to have a wanker-style guy in charge of the prison who likes to eat nuts all the time, it seems, and beat people up when they try to pick them off of the floor. So Van Damme tries to make friends in prison by kicking ass with his new cellmate, this guy here, and pissing people off in general. Now by this point it's probably time for another random fight. So here we have Van Damme cleaning up, minding his own business, when this asshole, who he fly kicked earlier on, turns up to throw some more insults at him.
Puto. El rata ese. Culero. Puto.
This is so funny. Then this guy shows up and it turns into a battle of the lame ballet dancing. I mean, come on, it's ridiculous. And, shock horror, Van Damme wins. He goes to visit this guy here who has one white eye.
The eye. You were looking at it. It's dead.
Okay, so it's a dead eye, not a white eye. Anyway, to cut a long, boring story short, he's just trying to find some information out. And the quicker he does, the better, because this really is mind-numbingly shit. So he ventures deep into the prison underground to visit a guy called Preacher, who gives him a little bit more information, but tells him he needs to go talk to somebody else now. Jesus, round and round we go. So he talks to this guy, then talks to his wife on the phone, yada yada yada, and with the help of Deadeye here, he manages to enter an office to look for some more information. By this point, it's like a detective story, like Columbo or something, trying to put together all the pieces of the jigsaw. Boring. Do you know what? I'm actually going to make my own version of this film from now on. Ready? Okay, Van Damme hates his job and his life, so he kills his gay brother, goes to prison, tells his wife here that he's really a woman who had a sex change before he met her. Suddenly, he becomes a colonel in the US Army and has a bunch of street fights. And he spends the rest of his days being a drunk because he never managed to live up to the title and get a death warrant. If you want to go with the real deal though, he's framed for killing his cellmate and locked up in solitary. Now, if seeing a semi-naked Jean-Claude Van Damme is your thing, enjoy. This guy, who we talked to earlier, gets visited by a talking container full of flammable liquid, and this magic container squirts him, and a talking match then sets him on fire. Brilliant. It's quite possibly the most brilliant and amazing thing you will ever see for the next 2 seconds. So One Eye and Priest decide that they have to help Van Damme, so they blow open a door and find some human body organs in a fridge. I love how none of the guards are aware of this. It's just bollocks. So anyway, the almighty Sandman enters the prison and stares directly at Van Damme, just like some lame romance film.
Can you feel the love
quickly cut to a scene of Van Damme being beaten up and bored to death by the Sandman, who tells him that he's going to let every single inmate know that he's a cop undercover. Oh no!
Fucking pigs!
The thing with this movie is it's so dull and cliched that it's not really all that easy to rip apart. It's just a stock action film. So Van Damme kills his guard here by wiring a radio to the cell bars, and it somehow electrocutes him. Wow. He steals his keys, breaks out, but oh dear, the Sandman just happens to be roaming free and releases all the other prisoners so they can chase after him. What? He gets taken to a room with all the assholes in there, and just as he's about to be killed, Deadeye and the Preacher show up from nowhere, and then Van Damme kicks ass. Check this out, that's a wonderful cut. That's the best part of the movie right there. I'm not trying to pull it apart because it's fun to do. Well, it is. Who am I trying to kid? It's shit! Well, let's cut to the chase anyway. Van Damme has a competition with this bozo to see who can pull the most ridiculous face. Reminds me of Commando, but then most shit films tend to do. It's funny that, isn't it? So Preacher shoots the meathead warden, but then he's axed by the Sandman. Kind of reminds me of The Shining. Now seriously, watch this clip. It's the funniest part of the film and you cannot help but laugh at it.
Come on!
Amazing! This movie is worth watching for that moment alone. Or you could just keep watching it here on my review. So they have a predictable fight where they're both immune to pain from punches to the groin, spinning blades to the back of the head. Look, he laughs! What an asshole! And being thrown 2 or 3 floors to the ground. Quality shit. And shock horror, Van Damme wins. I prefer my version, I think, although my version would have Van Damme being attacked by a flying wrench every 10 seconds just to keep it amusing. 10 out of 10 indeed. And for the actual version of Death Warrant, that can have 5 out of 10.